Hello, I'm Sebastian from InvestComics.com, and this is FFFIC. The empty space to either side of me is Shaun from Famous Faces and Funnies, who is really, really close. He's up at the register because everybody else isn't here, so he can't come back and play because he has to be responsible and deal with the customers, which is tragic because he actually read 12 books this week. So naturally, he can't come back and review, because that's the way our universe works. Alright, so I'm going to get started because I always lose track of time when Shaun's not here to keep me on track, and we end up with like a 3-hour review show. So, let's get started, because I got a stack of books here. Alright, from IDW, we're going to start off with Memorial Imaginary Friends #2. Love the first series, love the second series. This book is awesome. That's all I'm going to say. It's just brilliant. This Dragon Knock is my favorite, and he doesn't have a lot of screen time in this particular issue, but it's awesome, and it's really brought together this issue a lot more mixed with some of the characters I liked from the first time around. So I was happy. Indestructible Hulk is awesome. Confusing a little, but only on a minor level. Thor doesn't seem to know Banner, and Thor seems to be dressed like Thor used to dress, not like modern Marvel now Thor, but like classic Walter Simonson Thor, as in Walter Simonson, I drew this issue and I'm on for at least the next run, Walter Simonson. So it's legend meets legend. You got Wade and Simonson. It's Thor looking like Thor's supposed to when Simonson draws him. Oh, love it. It may turn out to be Clore. There are little clues along the way, such as him not knowing who Banner is, and Hulk and the Hammer have a little moment there. So it may turn out to be the clone known occasionally as Clore. But either way, it's awesome. And Banner, ooh, he's a manipulator. He's a thinker, that Banner. Dial H, the only one that gets to keep the WTF title of the WTF Gatefolds, because it's What the Flash. This is so awesome because while I've been reading The Flash, because I haven't been really liking the Flash in the New 52. In the last issue, his powers just disappear for no reason. Turns out there is a reason. Nelson dials them up. He actually dials the Flash's power and steals his power. Of course, it turns out there's a history that any time people dial powers from existing heroes within their own universe, the heroes tend to come after them hell-bent on revenge, and that's how one H-dial wielder in the past was killed. So, next issue should include the actual Flash. Barry should be a little pissed about the unopportune time of power loss. Also, we've got Nelson and Manowar have their little moment of last time they kind of hooked up. So they have they've got that, and then this book is just great. I don't know why you're not reading this book if you're not, because you should be. Shadow Man #6, so good. Valiant continues to do nothing wrong, and now that we know that they're gonna in July have Quantum and Woody back out, even if they did something wrong, we'd be able to forgive them because they're bringing back Quantum and Woody. So really, golden on top of golden. This was really good. Gets into I forget that guy's name, but he's basically like the god of death, and Dark lets him out. They have kind of an agreement, but even the god of death isn't a big fan of Dark. So we got some betrayals by Darkness and possible uneasy alliances, and this is all leading up to Shadow Man #0, which will give us a nice fuller history of the Shadow Man character, which is a legacy character within the Valiant universe. Alright, World's Finest, Hunters and Power Girl #11. Oh, Barry Kitson cover, nice. Whole bunch of different people in the air on artwork. Ken Lashley, gorgeous. Ken Lashley gets 4 pages of just gorgeousness in here. You get Barry Kitson, you get Robson Roca and Wayne Foucher. This is everybody jumping into, because it's the world's finest, so we can have some of the world's finest artists. Hey, look what I did there. It's awesome. It also Ooh, look, I actually have two books together that should be together. I have no rhyme or reason to the order I put books in. All right, so it kind of works hand in hand as we've got some Kirby-esque characters popping up. The formerly known as WTF cover for this reveals Desaad, all right? And the Earth 2 cover reveals, what? Oh, Mr. Miracle and Big Barda. No, actually, no, that's not Big Barda. Mr. Miracle and that's Fury, Wonder Woman's daughter there. But it seemed like this all along, and other people have thought this, I've thought this, but it looks like, despite the fact that there are, the two Earths going around and taking up the limelight, looks like there's one apocalypse. And I believe the apocalypse invasion on both Earths was from the same, it's just from the same apocalypse. It's not like there's a separate Earth 2 apocalypse. This Mr. Miracle, I think, because they refer to, Steppenwolf refers to in here in Earth 2 number 11. Steppenwolf refers to the lost son of Highfather is on this Earth. He says specifically, not he's on Earth, he's on this Earth. All right. Desaad is pretending to be Mr. Terrific, and he's over on that Earth. I'm thinking it's all one apocalypse, and you've got just two Earths for them to invade, which. Your apocalypse, screw it, you can do that, because, Darkseid, he can multitask, he's freaking Darkseid, right? But this, really, really good. Earth 2, really, really good. You get the Jay Garrick Flash really being the hero that we know the Jay Garrick Flash can be. You finally get the actual Dr. Fate, what's his name, has this conversation with the helmet, and gets to put it on and finally step up to be Fate. And you get an origin for why previously within Earth 2 the helmet referred to itself as the Helmet of Fate. All right, now you get to add the Doctor onto it because, damn it, this guy's got a doctorate. So if he's gonna live up to that, he's gonna be Dr. Fate. So that was pretty cool. Savage Dragon 186. Oh, so good.
Hi, Sebastian.
Hi, Megaphone Shaun.
Hi, Internet. I bet you're glad I'm not on the camera guy, Gardner.
Shaun and his megaphone, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that worked well with our directional microphone. You've got Claw, Daredevil, so classic old-time comic feel. You've got Dragon in prison. You've got Angel getting ready to leave because she was recruited by Super Patriot to go join SOS. You've got Dragon Jr. trying to keep up with basically filling in for Dragon. You get a backup story of Zeke. I've always loved Zeke. And then, of course, you find out that things are not going so well for Dragon's race, that he left to their own planet. Things have taken a turn for the ugly. So now he's got even more woes than just being in prison. Ooh, we were all wondering who was going to be the new the new Batwing. I'm going to say Darkwing. I don't know where I'm going. But the new Batwing in Batwing. That's pretty much a good place to have him. We have a very nice reason for David leaving as he steps down, because there's just things he needs to do his own way, and he doesn't feel like sullying the symbol of the bat. So if he's going to get his hands really dirty, he needs to do it batless. So a replacement is picked. A character with ties. Oh, I'm just going to spoil it, all right? So if you don't want to watch, skip ahead a couple of seconds or whatever. But I'm just going to spoil it because it's been on other sites. It's been talked about. So you can find out that yes, the new Batwing dun, 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 is Luke Fox, son of Lucius Fox. Now Lucius had a daughter or two in the pre-New 52 DCU. But now he's got his son. I don't know if his daughter still exists. But Luke Fox had a job with Wayne Enterprises, gave it up. He's studied all sorts of martial arts and all sorts of kickboxing and various other fighting techniques. But he really did it because he wants to attract Batman's attention. He wants to be a part of Batman Inc. rather than of Wayne Enterprises. So There can be some problems on the horizon for the Wayne Fox relationship. Also, it's Palmiotti and Gray, and as I tell you every damn week, Palmiotti and Gray can write anything, and they do. So this is awesome. Can you yell at them, or pause this for a second? I'll keep going. All right. Jay may have cut out my little pause this moment, or he may have left it in. But, all right, Green Lantern number 19. Oh, forget back in black. Looks like Sinestro may be going back in yellow. Holy crap, the stuff that happens in here. I wish Shaun was here, because I'd love to see his reaction. He's been, running kind of lukewarm on the ever-going saga of, the Green Lantern, straight from Black as Night to this, to that, to Bright as Day, to the Fall of the Guardians, to the War of the Guardians, to the War of the New whatever, and now the Wrath of the First Lantern. But holy crap, you will believe that you can feel bad for, Sinestro. Also, you believe that Sinestro can, when Sinestro finally does things for 100% right reasons, things will turn to shit. Is apparently the message we're getting here. Also, Hal's got to step up and make a sacrifice. Remember, it was predicted that Hal would be the greatest Black Lantern ever. So, Hal may be dying for a little bit. Giant, super thick Batman Detective Comics number 19, otherwise known as Detective Comics number 900. So the story, of course, the 900. All right, that guy's not good at quiet. The mystery of the 900 involves it's a 900 block in Gotham, and you get all sorts of you get the Man-Bats. You get the Man-Bats. Lots and lots of Man-Bats. Apparently now these Man-Bats are secondary to the Man-Bat army that has been going on in Batman Inc. Apparently the Langstrom Man-Bat has an origin that takes place after the Leviathan Man-Bat army. But what are you going to do? Nonetheless, really, really cool. Lots of awesome backup stories, including a Bane story by James Tyrion. James or Josh? What's Tyrion? James Tynion. Sorry, James Tynion, who that ties into the Bane story that will be coming up in Talon. You've got a handful of stuff going on with the Penguin, Emperor Penguin crime war happening behind the scenes. Really, really, really good stuff. Jason Aaron's Thanos Rising #1. I really, really like this. Jason Aaron is all either complete, I love most of his stuff. I didn't like his run on Hulk, and really, really, really didn't like. But this is just so good. And again, you think characters you wouldn't think you could feel empathy for. This is, I don't know if they've done an origin for Thanos before, but this is like a deep, deep origin. We get young kid Thanos, and it's just really, 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 really good. Age of Ultron number, what is this, 3, 4? It's book 4. Is just really, it's just really okay. I'm not feeling most of this. This particular issue didn't have as much in the wow factor, and just all of this seems so. People die that I don't think are going to stay dead. I know it's going to change the Marvel Universe forever. There are moments that I know, there are pages with whole scenes that just I know should have had me. Yeah, I know those were those scenes. Those were the bam impact scenes. They didn't have it. They just didn't. All New X-Men number 10. This book continues to be awesome. Very talky in that Bendis way, but it's good talk, and it's not like, there's no giant fights, there's no big battles, there's a whole lot of talking in the schoolyard. However, you don't miss the fights or anything else, because it's just really, really good and really well done. There's a little fight in the beginning. People rob a bank. do it disguised as X-Men. So, they don't have enough woes. And it ends with, like, Das Uber cliffhanger, Oh no, you can't do this. Who will join the Uncanny X-Men? Find out next issue. Somebody's going to be leaving. And, and we have to wait to find out who. And, it's because this is good. Green Arrow number 19 is awesome. Apparently all you need to fix the unfixable is Jeff Lemire. And he fixed the hell out of it. Oh my god. Ollie gets pwned by like a 10-year-old girl with a bow who makes him realize that he's good with the bow. But he's not like Archer Savant that he was pre-52. This little girl, Komodo's daughter, just messes with him. But it's so good. I have even, I think, completely adjusted to there's like an emphasis pacing thing going on where every now and then you get a panel that's only got one color in it and everything else is black and white. And at first it was kind of jarring me, but now I kind of get the feel, and it works as an emphasis, and I think I really, really like it. But yeah, Green Arrow went from what the hell to what the hell to wow, one of my favorite books. Speaking of books that I didn't expect to like, I am still really, really liking Superior Spider-Man. I think it's literally, you want to talk, it's a rock bottom story, because I think in order for me to like it, Spider-Man was my favorite comic. I loved Spider-Man. I have like every issue of Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah, all of them. Suck it. All right. Up to like 300 and something. I gave up around the clone time, but they've done stuff over the past 6 or 7 years that have just killed me. It's killed Spider-Man for me. I just couldn't read it. It just whatever. And I think I got to the point where I had lost all emotional attachment to the character and was able to just pick up, oh, you're going in a new direction? Let me see. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I know there are people who are still ready to kill over this, but story-wise, I'm really liking what's happening. The Avengers are finally getting a clue. Peter going on, and clearly this is what number 7. Number 9 is going to be the game changer, the Superior No More. And what's going to happen there? Is it going to be that Peter gets back in charge? Is it going to be that Doc Ock gets complete control? It's going to be that somebody else pops in. Who knows? But I'm looking forward to all of it. He's going to get a new costume. In number 14, is going to be going some crazy stuff. Loving it. This book is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Get over yourselves. It's a lot of fun. I'm not big on change. If I can accept this, then really no one else in the world has an excuse. Action Comics number 19 was okay. It would have been really good, but I know that Andy Diggle's already left. This was explained. Oh, it's like old Superman stories of the 60s, 70s, whatever. My greatest enemy, Jimmy Olsen? No, it's not really. They played us like that. But even that works because it's a Superman comic. But I don't know. It's good. It's good. But what Superman really needs in the New 52 is that great definitive Superman story, and we still haven't seen that. Animal Man number 19 is heartbreakingly awesome. Just heartbreakingly awesome, and so frustrating. I mean, since the beginning, I've been saying that Ellen and Ellen's mother, Ellen Baker, and her mother have been annoying the crap out of me. It's not getting any better. I see that she's upset. She has a right to be upset. I see what her argument is. Nice Clifford Baker. But nonetheless, I'm not on their side. But this, oh my god, this is so good. You should be reading this. Read this. Read Animal Man. Masks number 5 from Dynamite. Awesome. I'm liking this story. I've been liking it from the get-go. This one focuses. We've got how great a little team up is this? You have the Shadow, Kato, and Destroyer, kind of off as one main team, and you got Black Bat and Zorro teaming up on a street level thing. So it's good. It's just good. That's all I can say. This was beyond good. Lone Ranger number 14. Very Tonto-centric story, ties back into a previous story. You won't need to have read anything. I was impressed. I remembered it. but ties back into a story from Lone Ranger Volume 2, Number 9 in the Dynamite series. It's just a little one-moment story that ties back to we get to see what's happened to a character that was a kid doing some bad things that Tonto let off at the time, and this is apparently his life hasn't gotten much better since since Tonto let him go. But it was really, really, really well done, really good. Francovilla cover, always a plus. Gorgeous stuff. Miss Fury number 1 was good, confused me a little. It's got some time travel involved, so that always throws me for a loop. I knew nothing of the Miss Fury character. I knew there was a Miss Fury character. I really like this origin. It's got like 2 dueling art styles going on within it, but it was really, really good nonetheless. Princeless, number 1 of 4. This is the second series. Princeless Book 2, Get Over Yourself. This book is awesome. All ages, fun. I read the first one with the first series with my daughter. I'm gonna let her read this one when I get home. She didn't get to read it yet because I had to for the review show. But it's just so good, so much fun. We've got the king has decided he still doesn't know that his daughter is the knight who freed his daughter. He thinks that she's been kidnapped, so he hires a whole bunch of, he calls them knights, but really they're a whole bunch of questionable characters who are now in charge of killing the dragon and bringing this knight before him so that they can free his daughter. So basically he just hired a bunch of people to kill his daughter because he doesn't realize this. The brother is freaking out, the mother is flaking out, and the princess is just having a good old time on a road trip trying to find her sister. Hypernaturals number 10. Awesome! Read this book. Read this book. Then read this book again. Also continue reading this book. Hypernaturals number 10. It's like, oh my god, this is like the best thing. This is what the Legion of Superheroes really wishes it was right now. This is so good. All right, with again less history, less can. They've got they're trying to figure out who's behind everything that's been going on so far, and they've gotten to a point where it could be the Quantinium that has been running their little world. Maybe they can't trust it, but they've also established they may not even be able to trust themselves anymore because they don't even know if they're the ones being controlled. So when the smartest guy on the team, Thinkwell, is questioning even himself, then you have no idea who to trust. And it's so good, and the art is gorgeous, and it's Abnett Lanning and Derenick. Really, how can you not be reading it? Right? From Zenescope, we have Unleashed number 0. Their next big crossover. This is part 0 of 6. Their Oz looks kind of sexy. Oh, this is not Kansas, but it's definitely not Kansas. I guess they're trying to say, I don't know what they're trying. No real hotties in Kansas. I don't know, but nonetheless, it looks gorgeous. Anyway, Unleashed number 0 is good. It's Sela, and it's a little flashback to an earlier part of her origin, and someone called the Being, who is just apparently the biggest badass, as Cindy finds out, and he's going to out badass the current badasses in the Grimm Fairy Tales universe, and it's this looks really, really good. I already want to read some of these spin-off series. Roman the Werewolf Hunter. It's got Werewolves the Hunger. I want to read about him. He looks pretty good. There's a little thing in the back tells you a bit about the main players in there, so you get a bit about the Being and Samira and Ravenous, the first werewolf. Roman, Masumi, Elijah, and Lisel von Helsing, and of course, there's a page there for Sela. So good stuff. Robin Hood versus Red Riding Hood. Loved it. I loved the Robin Hood series. The trade's on the bottom. I'll get to that in a minute. Loved the Robin Hood series. This was really good because it was nice. It wasn't the typical, the two heroes meet and fight. Each one really had, it wasn't just that misunderstanding, because when it's over, they still have like an uneasiness of, okay, now I get why you did what you did, but if you do it again, I'm taking you down, because Red Riding Hood, I hadn't read any of the Red Riding Hood stuff yet in the Zenescope world. This was my first introduction to her. Apparently, she is a werewolf and she can control animals. She's really, really cool, and she's out to stop a murderer because, based on the trail that Robin Loxley left behind in her 5-issue mini, you know, it's easy to understand why someone would just think her a murderer if they didn't know why she was doing what she was doing and what was actually happening. So the two of them come to blows, and then have their, then form kind of an understanding and truce. Really, really well done. Really good stuff. Harbinger War is #1 from Valiant. So good. Oh my God, so good. You've got Bloodshot getting his little army of Psyot babies together, and he's not really trying to raise an army. He's just trying to save the kids. You've got, of course, Harada and Stanchek still kind of sizing off on either side of the Bleeding Monk, and this is just so good. Valiant didn't even see the park. They knocked it so far out of the park, it actually landed in another park. That's how good Valiant has been doing stuff. Swamp Thing #19. This is Charles Soule's first issue. So good. I won't say it's definitely not what it was. And at first I read it and I was kind of, I don't know. But right about here, the Swamp Thing looked kind of weird in the beginning, but there's a reason, and it was because of his locale. So he was more gray and prickly and cactusy, and at first that kind of threw me. But then when he went back into the green and went to other places, he got more typical Swamp Thing looking. And I think I really like the idea that he adapts to whatever plant life is around in the area, and he adjusts. So he's not really just a swamp thing anymore. He's definitely a green thing, plant thing. Not green as in color, but green as in the green that he taps into. And we get this Superman who shows up really pretty much at the end. But the next issue should be when Swamp Thing gets fear gassed by the Scarecrow, and when Swamp Thing finally starts having nightmares. Yeah, vines start growing all over. All the plants are growing freaky, creepy all over Metropolis because Swamp Thing's freaking out. Superman doesn't know Swamp Thing's freaking out, but knows Swamp Thing's doing it. So they're going to have a little chat, as one might say. Ooh, that'll be the stuff of epicness. What is not the stuff of epicness was Stormwatch #19. Stormwatch is dead. But here comes the new Stormwatch. As promised by Jim Starlin, the first couple panels of this are boom. There's a reset button hidden. Reset button hit just on Stormwatch, and I didn't really like the new 52 Stormwatch, but this didn't sell me either. Some of the characters are a little closer to the original versions that I like. Engineer, you do get Lobo with a bra on his head as a panel, so that's always a plus. And he already looks more like Lobo than he did in I'm gonna say it, than he did in the Rob Liefeld Deathstroke run. But I don't know. It just plus I'm really liking the Stormwatch backup story in All-Star Western. Again, the Palmiotti and Gray stuff. Just love it. But I don't know how that ties in with this time shift reboot. So, I don't know. I mean, I'll give it a couple issues to really see if it sells me. But so far, because I love the weird. I love, and a handful of the characters that they've brought back in here are some of my favorite characters from the original run of Stormwatch into the original Authority. But I don't know, it just didn't hit the right notes for me. As promised, from Zenescope, we've got Robin Hood Volume 1. This collects the 5-issue mini. It's Robin Loxley is a girl who is raped, and the crime is brushed over because the kid has a rich, corrupt father with ties to the local sheriff. So not only does she end up humiliated, raped, and defeated, but she also ends up finding a gateway that takes her into the Land of Mist, one of the 4 supernatural storybook-esque worlds in the Grimm Fairy Tales universe. So while she's there, she ends up with the whole, you know, Robin Hood story, but with her. So it's her versus they have King John instead of Prince John, but and you know and the corrupt sheriff. So there's all the parallels for what's going on in Mist to what happened to her, and because the guy who raped her was the son of this rich guy named their last name was King, right? So you had Mr. King and his son, and they had King John, and you had the corrupt sheriff, and you had the sheriff of Nottingham. So you've got the back and forth going on there. She becomes a badass in Mist, and eventually is able to come home and set things right. And the way she sets things right is pretty much the string of murders that gets Red Riding Hood to come after her in the one shot, which is not in this, but will hopefully be included in when they make a volume 2, because the Robin Hood Wanted mini is going to be starting, and I really just like this Robin Hood. I just like the story; it was really good. Exo Manowar Volume 2, Valiant, so good. Oh, such great stuff. Such great. If you haven't been reading the issues, grab the trade. Volume 1 was $9.99, Volume 2 was $14.99, and has a few more issues in it. But oh my goodness, so good. Great stuff. Finally, I'm going to end with another. Ooh, look at me, I've been reading big boy books, all right? Another book with, I can't say no pictures. It does have these gorgeous little chapter pictures. This is called Seduction of the Innocent, which, as you know, is the whole name of the book and research that almost killed the comic book industry back in the day. And what this is this is based on what was his real name? His real name was Dr. Frederick Wortham. They've got a character, Dr. Werner Frederick, who writes a story, who writes a book much like Seduction of the Innocent that looks into the depravity of the comic industry of the day. And then that guy ends up getting himself murdered, and there are a handful of suspects, most of whom are in the comic book world. There are a lot of analogs for actual comic book creators and comic book characters of the day being discussed in here. The story, and they make a point, Max Allan Collins, the author, makes a point of saying, this isn't, historical fiction where the names have been changed. There's a lot of embellishment, adding whatever, because no one actually killed. No one actually killed Frederick Wortham. So that right there is a big change. But this was so good. It's just hard-boiled detective, but like tongue-in-cheek, fun hard-boiled detective. Not like funny, not a spoof on the set, but it was so good. And the dialogue, I was actually laughing out loud reading this at some of the stuff, and my wife was like, "What are you reading?" And I was like, "I could explain it to you, but I'll say the word comics and you'll stop caring." It was so good, so well done, so much fun. Very typical mystery setup, but so good, and so it's not cliche in any sense. Really, really good, so well done. How much is this thing? This is only $9.95 for this size book, which is not bad in Barnes and Noble standards. This is out from Titan Books, so you can get this bookstores, comic stores, online, whatever it is you do when you buy your stuff. Loved every second of it. And that's it. Hopefully when I'm done,